can hear us.
Okay, we should have. Yep, I have bars of audio, so we should be good.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Sorry,
Listen,
everybody.
Gileadson, this is my first time having that happen.
Yes. So hello and welcome everyone to Screams of the Sun, the Changing Breeds Chronicle that we're running here on Final Show Films. I'm Julia of the Zodiac System, and I will be your storyteller for the evening and the whole of this chronicle, if nobody else decides to take the reins. We're joined by a wonderful cast of brilliant role players tonight, and some new faces, some rejoining faces. So we'll start our introductions tonight with the newest member to join the Monday night time slot, our new expert of X-rated roleplay, Siobhan.
Don't tell on me like that. I'm Siobhan. I will be playing Clover. Clover is a Hamid Korax son lost.
Our King of Horror, Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I am playing a Crystal Arias, who is a Hamid Nuisha, and I could say Ragabash, but that's just redundant.
It already says it on the tin.
Yep.
Our Queen of Otters, Katie.
Oh, that's so sweet. I'm Katie. I am playing Harry, who is a Korax, Hamid, and a Hermetic Order of Swift Light, I think is what it says.
Yes.
Yes, I got that right.
And our Sister of Battle, Shawnee or William.
Oh, that's perfect. Hi, I am William Orshani, and I am playing Callisto Osborne, the Hamid Goral Uzmat.
And unfortunately, Dravian will not be able to make it to session this week. We're wishing them a speedy recovery, and hopefully they can join us in the next session. As always, Black Lives Matter, trans rights are human rights, believe women, believe victims, fuck the Supreme Court, fuck Vince McMahon. Got you there, Jeremy.
Thank you.
And special shout out, fuck you, Elon Musk.
Yep.
And a big one, please, please, please remember, if you have not done so, register to vote, and please go out and vote this year. Quite literally, your country depends on it.
And please check, even if you think you're registered to vote, double check that.
Double check.
Double check that.
Remember, if you have moved counties at any point in the last year, or the last 4 years, you will have to re-register.
I mean, it'd be a good idea to check registration anyways, because, fuckery.
I double checked mine because I live in Georgia and they like to fuck around with that. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go ahead and begin with Screams of the Sun. Our camera opens in a very utilitarian boardroom where a number of individuals gather around a long table, all of them in various different colors of the same business suit, slate grays to black being the general sliding scale. A tall gentleman in a slate gray suit with slicked back blonde hair and piercing blue eyes stands at the head position of the table. He stands and straightens his tie and simply says, "You all might be wondering why I've gathered you here today, and the simplest answer is that the Endron Corporation has decided to open a new subsidiary in order to gain a foothold in an untapped market for natural resources. Now, many of you may see this as controversial or perhaps fruitless, but I assure you that the higher-ups know exactly what they're doing. We've even received praise from Pentex in the decision to move forward with our location of choice." The gentleman takes a step to the right and picks up a small remote off of a table. Pressing a button, a screen descends from the ceiling and begins to play a small video. There's a sharp crackle as static hits the screen, and then everyone in the room goes silent as they're featured to a video. An idyllic life in a bustling city with a gigantic mix of peoples and cultures and a wonderful sense of community is shown through almost saccharine sweet pictures of different landscapes and gatherings of humans in Sacramento. A sweet voice comes over the recording. Treat your eyes to the sparkling gem that is Sacramento. Sacramento is America's farm to fork capital and the only star on the map of California. The city is buzzing with things to taste, see, and savor. We invite you to pick your pleasure, whether it's our farm fresh restaurants, plentiful farmers markets, homegrown breweries, colorful street murals, Gold Rush era family attractions, or a sunset walk along the river. Visit Sacramento today. One might be wondering, why should Sacramento be considered for your next foundational project? Why, there's a wonderful world of endless possibilities within the city, with nearby natural forests and close access to both the mountains and oceans within roughly an hour's travel. Sacramento is seated in a wonderful spot full of potential. The voice is distorted as static takes over the screen, and the image of a shadowed figure pops into view. I always hate embedding those messages within useless travel ads. Liquefy whoever wrote those lines. No, I did not say liquidate. Anyway, gentlemen, it's good to see each of you. Now, I'm contacting your new branch to inform you that the board of directors has decided to send a scientist along with a shipment of equipment from Developmental Neogenetics Alchemated. We're sending you 4 of the units, and we ask that you do not mess this up. And the screen goes black. There's a murmur of dissent from the people in the room. And our camera shifts. In stark contrast to our open, there is a small clearing that is surrounded by trees. A small tent has been erected in attempts to sort of give some form of a structure so that everybody can gather underneath. There are currently 10 individuals of different backgrounds standing within, and 2 figures have just entered the tent. The one on the left is about 5.5 feet tall, an African-American female with short buzzed hair, wearing a black tank top and an open flannel with cargo shorts, loosely tied work boots on her feet. The prominent feature that immediately draws the eye is the 3 claw marks scratched across this person's face. But our camera lingers on them for just a second before sliding over to another individual. Jeremy, would you go ahead and describe Crystal for the audience?
Yes, I'm sorry. I was distracted briefly by something. Can you...
I can go to someone else.
Where am I currently again?
You've just walked into the tent in the... to sort of give everybody a little bit of information. This is in... you are specifically in El Dorado National Forest. There is a clearing that has been designated as a meeting spot for the Elder Council. And you are walking, the individual that you're walking in with is, as my brain, Dancing Cackle, the council leader for the Nuisha. Someone who has reached out to you in the past few weeks to bring you in on what they just have referred to as something big that's gonna be fucking hilarious.
Mm-hmm. So Crystal is probably about 5'9" or so. This is probably like a touch underneath ideal weight. Walks in with wearing a duster over a t-shirt that just says, it's red, it just says nope on it. A pair of low slung jeans, cowboy boots, cowboy hat, that she is not bothering to take off, whether we are in a tent or not. It's there for a reason. Dark hair, about shoulder length, maybe a little bit past. Brown eyes. Just kind of a permanent semi-smile. Probably at some point the duster sort of brushes a little bit like when you she walks in the tent. There is a big ass Colt 44 in a holster on the side of the belt. And currently is in the process of lighting up a joint.
Dancing Cackle sort of pulls you to the side almost immediately after you guys enter, and sort of takes you to a corner. You see her doing like some mental math and then pulling out her cell phone and sending a few text messages. And just after she hits send, her head sort of turns on a pivot and just makes eye contact with the joint, not with you.
Right.
You are Sharon, right?
Oh, duh.
Okay. She
Don't worry, I got you.
She will sit and talk to you, just small talk for a few moments, and pass that joint before there's a sharp whistle from another member from the other side of the tent, and she just puts a hand on your shoulder and says, "You're gonna be fine. Don't worry about it."
Did I question that? Of course
No.
I'll be fine. They're gonna love me. They always do.
I like that.
And they haven't found the bodies of the ones who don't.
You know, I mean, a body count only matters if they can find the bodies. So, and she will turn and skip away. As you see another pair of individuals walking into the tent. A man and a woman this time. The gentleman is looks to be sort of a little bit older. You'd probably guess mid to late 50s. Caucasian male. He's got short, buzzed black hair with blue eyes and a long, thick beard. Just a little bit over 6 feet with a bit of a pot belly. He's currently wearing a plaid shirt and a lab coat with khaki pants. And is drinking from a Starbucks tumbler. And beside him, Shawnee, will you describe Callisto, please?
Yeah, standing beside him, looking largely all business, despite the more casual demeanor of the person walking next to her, is Callisto Osborne. At 6'2" and about 320 pounds of mixed muscle and fat, she is probably one of the largest people that you've seen, if not the largest, in Hobbit form. She is dressed in a faintly loose black and red plaid shirt with black work jeans that have seen their fair amount of wear and tear. There are some holes that are beginning to form in the knees, and some heavy cuffed work boots on her feet. That's her the parts of her look that are relatively normal, one might call. She is tanned, likely just Caucasian with a decent tan rather than anything other ethnically. But her hair is long brown curtains that flow to about lower mid back that seem to brighten almost to dirty blonde at the roots and at the ends. She wears, on her left hand is a workman's fingerless glove. It's just a sort of brown leather glove with what looks like a metal plate on the back of the knuckle for support and structural soundness. On her right arm, she has a similar glove, but also there is a brace that is on her forearm that just has a array of crossbow bolts, just for ease of pull. There is a long crossbow sort of slung over her shoulder, a pair of knives at her belt, one on each side. The one on her left side seems to be traditionally in a sheath by its own. The one on her right is buckled down with 3 or 4 different fasteners, as if it is not meant to be retrieved without significant effort. And then slung on her back is a second, smaller, more hand-sized crossbow that is on an easy release. Her eyes are this sort of dark, reflective brown, and her lips and nails are painted the same color of black that you would find an animal's snout.
So as you and Doc walk into the tent, you're very used to his routine anywhere. He exudes an aura of not giving a shit. But you see him go through his steps. Doc has told you several bits about his past. The main thing being that, just like everybody else in this tent, he's a survivor. The first things he is looking for is you see his eyes slide over and size up everybody in the room, regardless of relationship and status, and then identifies any form of exit and any potential hazards within the tent.
There's just a wink sent his way.
You see a slight nod from that. And after he does his usual sweep through with his eyes, he just takes a long drink from his coffee cup. I need to talk to the matron. Is there anything else I need to we're going to be starting this real soon, so are you good to just hang out here for a few more minutes?
If I wasn't comfortable, let me get the accent right. If I wasn't comfortable, I wouldn't have left the axe in the truck.
Good. And I'm glad to see that you're trusting a little bit. And we'll walk over to the two of you can see the woman that he walks over to is hunched over. One of the only people here currently sitting in a chair. This old crone of a woman who's bent at her midsection, long, stringy brown hair that sort of goes into gray at her roots, wrapped in a number of rags. Definitely looks like homeless woman. And it's the middle of June, so she is potentially roasting underneath of the layers that she has. But you see a very toothy, almost unnerving smile go across her face as she clasps hands with Doc and shakes vigorously. Your attention, however, is drawn as 3 more figures enter the tent, one tripping wildly as he enters. A gentleman with spiked up black hair, wearing a band t-shirt and white jeans, comes tumbling in and face plants directly into the middle of the tent, before simply scooting his knees up and pressing himself up off the ground with his one arm as one wing enters the tent, followed behind very quickly by Carrie and Clover. The 2 Coraxes, would you mind one of you starting to describe who the audience is seeing?
Katie, you go ahead.
So Carrie is very colorful. She's average height, average build, pale skin, brown, almost dark brown, almost black eyes. Her black wavy hair is piled up like Megara style, like on her head. Like there's just a pile of hair, but it's very precise. And she's got all kinds of like clips and shiny things in like hair decor. She's got a very colorful top, kind of like it. a very, very 80s, early 90s style, like just bold, like jewel tone color top and black leggings. And the top is like with a like more of a tunic style, kind of like cut at an angle at the bottom, but an angled hemline. She is wearing sneakers and she walks with just a little bit of a limp. She tries to hide it, but she's also got, besides the hair, she's got jewelry, she's got rings, she's got bangles, she's all of the shiny things. And she did you just want a description or did you want me to say something?
No, that if you have something that you want to say, by all means, but otherwise.
Okay, Clover, go ahead.
In walks, she is 4'11", built like a twig. It is white and rainbow. She is truly albino. She's got white hair, sickly pale skin, red eyes. She doesn't look like she is perceiving anything around her. Her style is very much Stevie Nicks if Rainbow Bright threw up on her. It is lots of flowy, just bell sleeves, layers, big flowy skirt. She is barefoot. She has a big floppy hat that's almost covering her eyes. Piercings, yeah, like Carrie, lots of jewelry, but everything is stones, very witchy kind of vibes. Her knuckles are tattooed. They have the suits of the tarot on one hand and then means of magic on the other, like crystal ball, pendulum, stuff like that. The little bits of her skin that you do see through all the layers, there are tattoos, and they are all very occult, very like spiritual kind of stuff, like just kind of very, like I said, tarot kind of things. And she does not look like she is present. She walks backwards into the tent and then flaps the tent folds a little bit, and she's just humming. And then just kind of like tunes in and turns around and goes, oh, "There's people here."
From my core, just holy shit.
Yeah. So two rainbows just walked into the tent.
Just kind of pets the top of Carrie's head, like with all the doodads, and just goes, "I think we got the wrong dress code." And then just kind of swirls her skirt a little bit.
No, we got the right dress code. Let's get that settled right here and right now. I am who I am, and I look fabulous. Hello, everyone. Sorry we're late. We just flew in. So glad to be here.
I'm not even here yet.
I believe that.
You know what, though? She is a hoot. She is a riot, and I would love to go shopping with her if she has 5 minutes of clarity. So,
I mean, Crystal, Callisto, both of you can give me perception and alertness for both of you.
Okay.
Difficulty 5.
Ooh, first roll. Let's see how bad this is gonna be. Per alert. I'm sorry, difficulty what?
5.
5. All right, I will take that. 2 successes.
Have to switch back into old World of Darkness brain and remember to come up with difficulty ratings. Okay. It's pretty easy for both of you. Like if there wasn't, even without the display of that, very obvious that the shorter of the two Korax is definitely on something.
I mean, yeah.
But as you're taking in what's happening over here, there is a loud thud as that bent over crone is now holding a very thick staff with a number of rings, sort of brain. There have been a number of holes drilled into the top of it, and those rings have been fit through. So every time she bangs, there's an assemblage of clanging to go with it to get everyone's attention.
Clover
And the
responds
tent
by
falls silent.
Clover does reach her hands up and clangs together her bangles in response.
Like Carrie is at full attention. Like she knows she's not supposed to say anything, but she's just like,
You see her lean a little forward in her chair and sort of count on her fingers. And she'll turn and look at the gentleman who came in with Callisto, Doc, and say, Bear, where is the cat? Do you know? And Doc will very quietly, we're having trouble currently contacting them, but from what I know, they have picked up package number 5. And the crone just sort of gives a wave and a sound of dissent. Ugh. Okay, we deal with that tomorrow then. And she looks at the 4 of you and slams that staff and points in front of her. Please.
Callisto walks to where she pointed and looks at her.
I would like to welcome the 4 of you, eventually 5 once the other of your menagerie decides to show. Congratulations on being the first group in the Americas of the International Coalition of Fera. We are attempting to try and get everyone to work together. That way we can all try to protect Gaia. The 5 of you, currently we have only a small job for you to look into. We have news that a small corporation who is tied to the worm has decided to move into Sacramento and is attempting and lobbying to do horrific things to the natural resources around. So I want you to... And she as she says that, she stops and then leans up with a number of cracks from her spine as she looks around the rest of the group and coughs slightly. We would like you to go investigate. Bring back any information you find and let us know what their plans are. I suggest, from everything I know about you, from the files I have read, assuming that Doc did his research correctly, most of you would prefer to go into this not firing first. So we will give you a small dossier of papers that will tell you where to go and what to look for. We have a few names of individuals who are running things, but we don't know a terrible amount, and we want to send in the grunts, as it were.
I love research. Did you know I'm a doctor?
Her eyes narrow, and she just... She very slowly turns to look at One Wing, who is dissociated into their phone.
I also work with medicinal qualities.
I work with medicine
Yep, same.
and lore and information and mythology.
We're gonna get along great.
Mhm. Everyone
I-
loves me. It's okay.
I mean, it is kind of true. She is really precious. I don't deal with medicine, but I do deal with information. In the passing of information.
I quite frankly don't give a rat's ass what any of you deal with. Get out of my tent, please.
This is your tent. It's a lovely tent. I like the flaps. And then she just floats out of the tent.
Callisto just shrugs, turns around, and walks out of the tent.
Sure thing, boss.
Harry- Harry just says, "Well, all right then," and follows Clover.
Doc will pull a manila envelope out of
Yes,
and then hand it over to Crystal.
thank you. One of us should be on the ball with this. All right. It's been real, it's been fun. It hasn't been real fun. And yeah, step out with everyone else.
It's a nice day. Slightly overcast. It does look like rain in the coming hours, though. As the
Well,
group-
hi everyone.
Hi. Pleasure to meet you.
Uh,
My
do
name
we
is
wanna-
Carrie.
Huh?
Said pleasure to meet you. My name is Carrie.
I'm Crystal. We want to go somewhere and sit down and
Let's
I
crack
don't
it
know,
open.
go through this dossier, do icebreakers,
Where did you say this was taking
Um,
place?
play two truths and a lie. I don't know.
You guys are currently in El Dorado National Forest.
Okay.
I should
Well-
warn you, I cheat at two truths and a lie though.
Unless all of you live closer, my house is probably the nearest to where we're at.
Cool. Anybody need a ride?
I'm always down for a trip.
Yes, you are, sweetheart. Yes, you are.
We're gonna get along so good.
Yeah. So,
Where Bitchmobile's this way.
excuse me.
Bitchmobile is this way.
Oh, is that what you call your car?
Yes, that's her name.
That is a lovely name.
Did she speak her name to you?
We sort of figured it out between us.
Oh, cooperation. I love
Yes.
All right, just follow me.
You-
I'll lead you the way.
All right. I was gonna say you need a ride or you have your own.
I brought my truck.
Okay, cool, dope.
I want to go with the giant woman.
There's room.
All
Cool.
of you.
No,
It's all good.
I want to go to the bitchmobile. I want to see what a bitchmobile looks like.
All right, let's go. Yeah, you head out of to wherever we parked.
There would have been it's a good like somewhere between 5 and 10 minute walk for you guys to get back to the parking lot. That's the word.
Okay.
Thank you.
Along the way, I will pass over the joint.
She will take it.
Cool.
That's the test. If she took it, it's great. Otherwise, she's a narc. You got to get rid of her.
Gotta tell me if you're a cop.
You gotta tell me.
So yeah, so parked in the parking lot, it is a 1967 VW bus, fully restored, kept in incredibly good condition, orange paint job, all On the left side of it is okay. You know the classic, the Three Wolves T-shirt.
Yes.
The
I have that
wolves all
t-shirt.
looking up at the sky and howling. It's that, but with some slight modifications. So the top wolf is bald, except for sort of a tangled floof back here. The middle wolf has a bowl cut, and the third wolf has its head shaved.
Are you telling me this is a
It's the Three Stooge
Stooges?
wolves.
Yes. I'm so here for this. I think that's my favorite way to say fuck you to the Garu I've ever seen.
Like, Carrie just looks like she has just like seen the best. She's like, oh my God, this is art. This is amazing. You know, I always say too many people are going subtle nowadays. Okay, especially with their vehicles, all these boring colors, all these boring paint jobs. This is art.
I am a lot of things. Subtle is not one of them.
I love it.
Thank you.
I can't do subtle either. I tried, it didn't work for me.
Yeah, it and I do not agree with each other.
By comparison,
Yes.
Yeah.
Life's
yes.
too short.
The most generic truck, the most generic pickup truck ever. Please tell me just for the contrast.
It's
kind of.
beige. It's beige, right?
By comparison, the vehicle that Callisto is headed towards is a 2004 Chevrolet Silverado. It is just this sort of dark gray coloration, well maintained, sort of obeying the maxim that it is more environmentally friendly to drive an old car into the dirt than to keep buying a new one. And so it is well maintained, but definitely 20-year-old truck that is sort of like dark gray, lightly tinted windows. To like it's a dually, which means it has 4 back wheels for extra suspension and power. And sort of on a rack just under the back window is an axe that looks like a woodsman's axe, but anyone who actually knows axes can tell it's a little too light and a little too thin for traditional logging work. That is definitely an axe designed for killing things rather than chopping wood.
As Clover's walking just like this again next
Pretty
to
much.
the giant woman is just like, you have so many weapons.
It pays to be prepared.
Do you carry them all the time?
Clearly not, she says as she indicates the axe in the back of the truck.
There's another one. How often do you have to use them? Because I don't have any weapons. Now I'm a little concerned.
There's more uses for a weapon than for killing someone.
She digs around in like her giant like hippie satchel and pulls out what looks like a Ziploc bag of fruit snacks and just pops one in her mouth and puts it back. She goes, well, I can sort of see things, maybe. And if something dangerous is coming, I'll let you know. I'm not good seeing here, but I'm very good seeing other places.
I feel like I'll notice any imminent danger a while away.
Can I get on your shoulders? And so if danger comes, I'm out of reach.
While I don't think that'll work inside the vehicle, you are welcome to try elsewhere.
This is the best day ever.
She
scrambles up into
living their
the-
best lives.
Truck and just starfishes out.
Nice.
Just lays down. Who needs seatbelts?
Yeah, so Callisto, that just happened.
He shrugs and gets in the driver's seat.
I
So-
hop in my side, open the door on the other side for you. All right, you have your choice. First time in. I will give you your choice. What do you want? Pure cheese, bad bitch, 80s mood, classic rock, or fucking show tunes, dude.
Oh, 80s.
Okay,
80s.
okay. And yep, starts up the car, hits the Spotify playlist, and let's see if we randomize this. Eye of the Tiger.
Yes. She is just like, doing the Rocky thing, like dun, 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 dun.
I do appreciate the constant juxtaposition because as Callisto starts up the car, immediately starts playing Within Temptation's Paradise.
Clover can't hear this because she's in the bed of the truck unless you crack open that.
And the windows roll down immediately.
She's singing a song. It's not this one, but it is a song. Just quiet loudly, like it's a stage whisper, like she's trying not to interrupt the music, but she wants to sing her own song.
Yeah.
Like a drunk person trying to whisper.
Yeah. Let's call her drunk.
I know she's not drunk, but
Yes, very though the Siobhan drunk would overpower the music with their voice, but Clover's a little softer.
Can I tell you a secret?
Oh my god.
Yep. So Clover's just laying in the back. Is it like broad daylight?
Yeah, it's overcast right now.
Okay. She's just staring at the clouds, pointing out shapes she sees.
Clover,
Yes.
go ahead and give me a wits and let's see here. Wits and enigmas roll real quick.
Wits and enigmas. Good at both of those things. Remind me how to roll.
Difficulty 7.
Give me a minute. I
So
am struggling. How do I roll on roll 20 and
on the if you're in the all page or on the what's the other one that has the dice rolls on
It is
attributes and
the
abilities.
yeah.
So either on all or attributes and abilities, there is a section at the bottom of attributes and abilities, in the middle of all that says dice pools.
okay.
And you can fill in your attribute, your ability. You can put a name on the roll if it's one you use a lot and you feel like putting
Okay.
a name to it.
Yep.
Difficulty, you said 6?
7.
7. All right. Oopsie. All right. Roll. 3 successes.
3 successes.
Nice.
With 2 10s. As you're driving along, the edible you took is going to take a while to kick in. But you have enough everything else in your system. One of the things that catches your eye as you're just staring at these clouds is very quickly you're starting to pick up animal shapes. And they're not looking like cloud animal shapes where it's like, oh, that kind of looks like a pig. They're looking sculpted. And the two that the two shapes that stick out to you out of all the animals that you see is a large wolf that seems to be up on 2 hind legs, but the face is wrong. The head is wrong. It seems to be wide open. mouthed. I'll give you a second to write this.
Thank you. Face long. Clover's not going to remember this, but I'd like to.
The mouth is open wide with teeth that are of varying different lengths. The thing that immediately grasps your attention about the difference is the shape of the head has 4 tentacles just kind of going out of it. And the other one that draws your attention is a large rhino. But it has a bunch of different spikes protruding randomly throughout its armored hide. And its horn is long and sharp and curved almost like a sword, rather than the traditional, almost blunted horn that rhinos have. And the thing that they wouldn't be too... They would be very innocuous if they had not been seen one right after the other. And then just before Callisto parks the car, there's a loud thunderclap from the distance.
Clover's looking up at the wolf figure, and as Callisto parks the car, goes, "Did you know the dropping of the nuclear bomb led us to tentacle porn?"
You know, I can believe that. That makes a sick amount of sense.
It's fascinating. Do you know of wolves with tentacles for their face?
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Everyone knows about the one pack. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's like you all have been told, or at least those of you who've been changing breeds for a while, have been told about the Garou and about the Black Spiral Dancers, the twisted wolves that fell to the worm and had become agents of it.
Do they commonly inhabit the clouds?
Not that I'm used to. Usually they're in a shape and space more apt for being shot at.
She's still like flat backed on the bed of the truck and just points up at the cloud she's looking at.
Did she follow that?
Yeah, I'm not even gonna make you roll. There's a weird shaped cloud in the sky.
Does it track the shape that she's describing?
Not to you.
I will trust your spiritual vision in this matter.
This is after we stop?
Yeah, this is as she stopped, as Callisto has stopped. So you
Okay.
guys are probably getting out of the van at this point.
Right.
So you just see over the bed of a truck a very pale hand pointing up at the sky. Nothing else.
There's some weird looking clouds.
Find
It doesn't look like rain.
find
So-
anything interesting, Clover?
Wolves with tentacles for the face.
I saw that movie.
I have seen several films that involve tentacles, all enjoyable.
So the house that Callisto has parked in front of is like you would call it an old witch's cottage, like out in the middle of the woods. It's this like 2, maybe 3-story wooden building that's just out like up a dirt road from the main road that it comes off of. In the middle of a wood clearing, there are stacks of cut lumber off to one side. There is an actual lumber axe sort of embedded into a stump off to where the logging is done. The house itself is this sort of like plain, mostly with just straight wood coloration with a bit of stain and other markings on it. But the thing is that is of note is that it is covered head to foot in pride flags and other queer paraphernalia that have no rhyme or reason, and they're like random tokens and mementos that have been like hung up on a knot on the wood paneling of the house, or like nailed to like just under a window, or hanging from the porch roof. Just complete like this, what would look like old-fashioned log cabin in the woods, just decorated in pride.
Is it one particular flag,
it's
or is it just everything?
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm not gonna lie, I dig it.
This is amazing.
It looks like a house made of candy. Set
They're all
back in the
mementos from
woods.
people who have come to find shelter over the years.
That is a beautiful story.
You should paint the whole thing rainbow.
I mean, I don't really think she needs to.
I'll let nature speak for itself on that matter.
Is a rainbow not part of nature?
And there's plenty of flags of them up here.
Are any of the flags like low enough that Clover could just like swish it?
Probably.
Yeah, she's just grabbed the corner of one and just like the tent flaps. Just...
Callisto walks up the porch. The wood groans lightly under her size, but doesn't seem like it's in danger of giving way underneath her. As she steps up and opens the front door. Y'all want to come inside, or we can do this on the porch?
I would like to see the inside.
To be clear, what time of year is this?
This is the middle of June, so you guys are right in the beginning of summer.
That depends. Does inside have AC?
Yes, it does.
We are going the fuck inside. It's Sacra goddamn Mento.
I am all about the creature comforts. Inside, where there is a squishy sofa, hopefully, and AC.
There is a very squishy sofa in the living room.
I beeline to the squishy sofa.
Clover's the last one, and she's a little distracted with the pride flag. It makes a good womp womp, and she's having a lot of fun making it make the womp womp, and then comes inside and just lays down on the floor just inside the door.
And the queer log cabin theme continues on the inside. It is very much that sort of like old wooden furniture, big like old fashioned squishy sofa, fireplace with like setting for like the ability to set up a decent fire. Some like modern electronics and stuff. There's a big like widescreen TV for watching TV, equipment. Like it's a comfortable place, but it definitely has the mixed aesthetic of like old fashioned wooden, out in the woods kind of furniture mixed with just the occasional like pride paraphernalia, various different religious symbols from all different religions across the world. A lot of carved wooden bears that people have left. There is a banner that is always been hanging like right above the fireplace that just says Bear Mom.
I love it.
Is there like a particular section where there's like multiple carved wooden bears?
Yeah, there's like a shelf that just has like rows upon rows of carved wooden bears.
Clover notes that and gets up and pulls out of her giant bag of holding just little gummy bears and sets them between the carved bears.
Jesus, Benny. You waiting for a Menotep to show up?
Gonna have to enlighten me on the nature of that one.
I gesture toward. It's a movie. Doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter, and you will find out because I will be making you watch it because it's fucking amazing. But and you will not there will be certain jokes I will make that you will not get if you do not see it. So it is now essential for you.
Fair enough.
Anyway,
Welcome,
kick
man.
back.
And yeah, it is. While it is scorching hot outside, the AC is cranked down to like 60 on the inside.
Drop the dossier in front of everybody. All right, how do we want to start this? We want to do the round table, get to know each other, or do we want to dig right in first?
Well, first up, soda, coffee, booze, or water.
Tea.
I can make some tea.
When you're talking about that third option, what selections do we have?
Most of it's beer. I do keep some wine for the folks that like it more fancy, and I have some obvious whiskey and a little bit of vodka.
Beer will be fine.
I'll take a soda.
I am not a fancy girl.
She'll grab a beer, start some tea in a kettle, grab a soda for Clover.
Harry.
Harry. Everyone's got a K name.
Everybody has a
Yeah.
K or a C name.
Grab a soda for Carrie and and just pour a shot of whiskey for herself.
When you return, the shelf of bears has a single gummy bear between each of them, and Clover's almost
Amazing.
finishing up, and she's like, "One for the bears, one for Clover, one for the bears, one for Clover."
Are those all edibles? Or are they just gummy bears?
You don't know.
Fair enough. Find out if you are completely passed out later.
That was going to be my answer.
It's literally a mixed bag. Like
It's shits and giggles. Some of them are laxatives, some of them are
Some
edibles.
other edibles.
It's, holy shit! We found something that is potentially worse than the every flavor bean bullshit. Which, by the way, you've
It's
never
awful in and of
that
itself.
stuff. It's the worst and the best.
God, the phrase shits and giggles for half of them are laxatives and half of them are edibles.
Yeah, I heard it as soon as I said it, and I was like, I'm just pushing right through it. That's not helping.
oh my god.
Clover drops what's remaining of the gummy bears back in her bag and pulls out they look like cigarettes, and goes, "Can we smoke in here, or do I have to step outside? I do like the outdoors
Crack a window if you're going to smoke inside.
though." Yeah.
Crack it wide.
Beep. And she pulls out a lighter that has like a crystal pentacle on it, and then it's got charms,
Nice.
and it just
Next-
jangles when she lights it.
Next to where smoking is happening, Callisto just very lightly reaches up and cracks an air freshener.
All right,
I
all
don't
that
keep smell around my
established.
house.
Fair. All that established. Back to question one. Is it getting to know you time, or is it let's dive in?
I like foreplay.
So
And
do
with
I.
that, that's where we're going to go to break.
That's a good break spot.
Remember, when we take our break, you take your break. So stand up, stretch your legs, get a drink, go to the bathroom, whatever you need to do. And we will be back in just a few minutes after these commercial breaks.
we're back.
So our camera resumes as 4 people gather around I want to say a table, but I believe you're just doing this in the living room, correct?
There is a living room table. It's like a
Okay.
wide
Yeah,
coffee
coffee
A
table.
wide coffee. So four individuals gathered around a coffee table. As you begin, well, I have to ask. The last question that was floated out was: are we going to get to know each other, or are we diving right in?
And the last answer that was floated out was, I like foreplay.
I do too.
Well, it sounds like we're doing introductions then.
Alrighty.
So, I really want to know what's in the sealed envelope, but
I mean,
The envelope's not
It's
going
not
anywhere.
sealed.
your house, you get to pick who goes first.
Well, since you're offering, why don't you?
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Crystal. Crystal Arias.
Hi,
Hi,
Crystal.
I am.
Yeah, I knew
I
that was coming.
I am not an alcoholic. I am an alcohol enthusiast. Those are two separate things. I mean, what's there to really know? Nuisha. I am from Southwest. Just got here in I was fortunate enough to arrive here in good old Sacramento at the perfect opportune time to be drafted. So that's fun.
Luck of the draw.
Yeah, pretty much. I have been sort of all around the states. A little bit south of the states from time to time, a little north of the states from time to time. Let's see what else. I'm a Gemini. Y'all have met the Batmobile. Oh, pulls the gun off of the hip. This is Harry. And I enjoy catching a flick, long walks on the beach, teaching Guru the meaning of humility.
I'm sure they'll learn that lesson one day.
No, they won't. But it's fun to it's fun to try and then to run. And I tend to be fairly good at hit and run and sneaky missions. That's me.
Anyone else feel like going next?
I'm Clover.
hi, Clover.
Just too quiet. Why moving?
Hi, Clover.
Sorry. I'm Clover. I am an Aquarius sun, a Scorpio moon, and an Aquarius rising.
That tracks.
My Mars is in Pisces. But my Mercury is in Aquarius. My North Node is in Leo, though. I like lore. I love lore. I feed on lore. I like shiny things. I like tarot cards. I enjoy long walks on the beach. And I will not introduce you to my parents until we have a long-term established relationship.
That makes sense.
And this is my friend Carrie.
And you just got introduced or volunteered.
I just got voluntold. Well, hi everyone. I'm here.
Voluntold.
Voluntold. I'm Carrie. I in a previous life, I was a hairdresser. I love to talk. I love gossip. I grew up um, with my mom and grandmother in New Mexico. And-
Really?
yes,
Whereabout?
that's a very good question. Just just outside of Albuquerque, close enough to be close to the city, but far enough away to be in the suburbs.
Okay. Los Alamos.
Los Alamos, yeah, that's the one.
No, that's where I'm from, Los Alamos.
Los Alamos, okay,
So we're on. Yeah, we were like
close.
driving distance from each other.
Oh, nice, very nice. No, I love growing up in New Mexico. I loved as a kid. I loved the nightlife. I say kid, I'm talking about like teenager.
Right.
Loved going out dancing. I loved people. I loved, just going out and talking to people. And just honestly, if I'm ever bored, I go to a coffee shop and I just watch people and eavesdrop on conversations because I think it's fascinating. I also like to do the same thing in bookstores, even though I love books. I also like to, just overhear people's conversations in bookstores. It's a lot of fun. So as you can probably tell, my main skill is gathering the gossip and passing it on as needed. I love music. The 80s / early 90s are my favorite era in both fashion and in music. I love
Best era.
Absolutely. I love my bold. I think life is too short not to be fabulous. So I wear bold colors and lots of accessories and just enjoy life. I'm the type of person that will be very spontaneous. It's like, hey, let's go jump out of an airplane. I'll be like, okay, let's go jump out of an airplane. That's
You are fortunate enough to have the wings for that.
yeah, but even before I did though,
I don't have wings. I would do it.
even before that though, I was still, still the same. I mean, I drove my mother crazy. I was a daredevil kid and made my grandmother laugh so hard. But yeah, so I'm happy to make a living working with people and collecting shiny things and just living life.
Okay, but you are holding out on us.
I'm holding out on you.
Yes.
How am I holding out on you?
What's your sign? We both said.
Katie did not do that kind of artwork.
I'm sorry, I am the worst.
Let me think just a second.
This is me not even considering that other people don't do that.
You know what? I'm actually on the cusp between Pisces and Aries.
All right.
So kind of in between, depending on the day, I can go either way. I can go either way in a lot of things, actually, but that's neither here nor there.
I mean,
All right. Well, I guess that just leaves me.
yep.
You have the floor.
Callisto Osborne. I'm originally from Georgia, out and around the Blue Ridge Mountains. Grew up amongst a bunch of kinfolk that tried to get away from everywhere else, trying to spread out, find a spot where they could largely be unnoticed, and the odd grizzly bear among the black bears be written off as anomalous or just misseeing something. My small family that I grew up with were loggers and woodsmen, a trade I brought with me out west. We protect and maintain the forests of where we live. When my first change happened and the visions led me out west, I ran into Doc and had my year of traveling. And there's a lot about that probably comes later, but for the most part, since getting over here, I've set up my own business with this house that was given to me by a distant relative. And I've made it a place that is safe for anyone who needs sanctuary or shelter, as you can probably tell by the mementos everyone has left since they went. Anyone who needs a place to stay is welcome here. Anyone who's in danger, human, kinfolk, otherwise, they'll get a roof as long as they need it, and a guardian who won't suffer any fools who come looking for them. If you're looking for star signs, I'm Sagittarius.
All right.
And if you were looking for what I do for the group, at this stage in my life, I am probably best described as muscle. If you need something broken down or someone dealt with, that's probably my specialty.
Clover is laying on the floor again, and she's like on her side with her face against the wood floor, just like rubbing the wood. And she goes, "This feels like home to a lot. Very safe."
Eventually, the title got around, and anyone who needs a place to stay ends up getting told to go look for the bear mom of the Greenwood.
Well, cool.
Right,
All
with
right.
introductions made. The only thing left is the envelope in the middle of the table.
Yep. Yeah.
I
I'm
will get down to
reaching
business.
forward, grabbing it, and
Um,
opening it up.
So it's very scant information wise. There are a lot of pictures, not a lot of written materials. Picture number one is of a taller gentleman, slate gray suit, blonde slicked back hair, sharp blue eyes, a simple black tie, and a red handkerchief or red pocket square. There are, if you flip this picture over, there are several scrawled notes on the back, and it looks in different handwritings, and it looks like the general consensus after about 14 scratch marks is leader ?
How do you do, Ivan? She says, looking at this particular individual.
Oh, good. You know who it is.
No, I just took a guess based on his looks. Ivan Drago.
No, I got it. It's a good reference.
The second picture is it looks like a nice view of downtown, a tall building, several nondescript white vans parked out front. There's a gentleman installing a sign on the front door, a hexagonal logo with an E cut out of it, and the rest of the word spelling N drawn as he's screwing the last N into the side of the building.
Seriously, what is with the nondescript white vans? That just immediately screams suspicious.
Only if you're keyed to look at it. Look for it.
There are
You'd be
three
surprised
things.
how many people pass that by.
There are three things that people will always overlook: a nondescript white van, a person in a black polo carrying a ladder, and anybody in a high visibility vest with a trash bag. Those are the three individuals that I know that most people will overlook.
You can
Like
also
their eyes will
replace-
just gloss over.
You can also replace trash bag with clipboard.
Yes.
Yep.
See, this is Katie speaking. See, I see a nondescript white van, and I immediately go, no good.
No, yeah.
Yes, because you're not most people.
I'm really not.
Yes. Hi. We know, Miss Neurodivergent. Because hey, I'm not saying that anything that doesn't describe everybody else in the call.
I was about to say,
I
was
resemble
like-
that statement.
I'm like, pot kettle, pot kettle, pot kettle.
No,
I
yeah,
got
vans
12
are
other people in my head. We are not normal.
yeah. White vans are absolutely for most people to miss. Me, the master of the subtle and easy to miss.
The Siobhan speaking. Also, no one notices a big black work van. Having worked in the funeral industry, and no one realizes it's a removal vehicle.
Well, I do now.
Legit.
The third image in here shows a what appears to potentially be the backside of the building shown, and it is there are two spots of graffiti that everybody's eyes immediately are drawn to because they're the only bits of color separate from the ground of the alley. There is a bright green spiral that has been spray painted on the back of the building. The other side is just a crudely spray painted wolf's head with a single red spray paint line through it.
Well, they're subtle.
Rick.
The final picture is another one of those nondescript vans, but there are 4 human-sized metal boxes being pulled out of the back.
Clover looks at that picture and goes, "Did you know the difference between a coffin and a casket is the shape and whether or not the lid is hinged or nailed in?"
You know, strangely enough, I did know that.
I was going to say, weirdly.
Most people don't. And it drives me batty.
In this one particular instance, I fell on the line of most people, and I have now been informed.
Are there any?
Listen, we're just looking at photos here, so
Yeah.
hard to say for sure, but my guess would be those aren't coffins or caskets.
Well, it entirely depends if the lids of those boxes are hinged or not.
I mean,
They're not there for carrying a body.
They
no,
look
I
body.
think they're for carrying a body. I don't think they're there for carrying a dead or a dead one or a dead moving one or a dead non-moving one.
Yeah.
Are there any that so there are notes on the back of the first one? Are there notes on any of the other backs of the pictures?
Yes. The second picture has much a lot more actually written and not scratched out. The things that, and they're all just small notes. Endron question mark arrow Pentex question mark. and I'll let
It's
people-
and for clarity, it's Endron.
yes,
Okay.
ENDRON.
Well, it was
Yeah.
Endron. What was the first note?
So Endron question mark with an arrow to the word Pentex with a question mark.
Is that something we can roll on? Because I know that's
Yes.
generally not common knowledge.
Okay.
Yes, everybody can give me either either intelligence and occult or wits and occult. Those two.
Okay, how
Well, no, wits and enigmas. Both of those will work.
how am I rolling?
Difficulty 7 for this. So you'll go to the attributes and abilities tab, and then
Okay.
you can roll down to the middle of the page, and there's a dice pools, and then you can edit that. And if you want to, name it something that you'll use repeatedly, like I know, I think it was Jeremy who had the perk observation roll last time.
Perceptiosity.
Perceptiosity, that's it.
Difficulty what?
7.
Clover got 4 successes.
Jesus.
I got 2.
One from Callisto.
none from me.
Okay. So
I like that slope downward.
yeah,
I saw it coming.
Carrie, neither of those words mean anything to you. As for Crystal and Callisto, Pentex is a very, very big name. It carries a lot of weight to it. Pentex is also, for the mundane side of its business, Pentex is a mega corporation that has its hands in multiple different businesses, industries. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you,
Mhm.
Sally. And are
Halliburton.
they are listed in the top 5 Fortune 500 companies that are running in America currently. They have their fingers involved in everything from environmental resurfacing to health technologies, computer technologies. Pentex's motto is, if there's a business that we can be a part of, we're running it. Clover, you don't know why. Yes, when you are ready.
Eh. This
Somebody's
is
gonna
more-
enlighten Carrie in all of this, right?
Maybe.
We'll see.
Maybe.
Well, if you can translate Cloverese, yeah.
I think she's hung out with you enough. I think she probably can.
What do I know, Julia?
You're not sure how you know this, but Pentex is not an ordinary business. Pentex has its hands specifically, you're not sure how, and you're not sure all of the specifics, but you know firsthand that Pentex is an ally of the worm. For those of you who do not know of the Triad, originally there were 3 beings: the worm, the weaver, and the wild. The wild was nature. The weaver is progress. And the worm is chaos. All 3 of them must be in balance for the world to work. At some point in history, this is sort of the, like, everything everybody in the Changing Breeds and the Garu would know. At some point, the weaver trapped the worm, and the worm went crazy. And humanity got the upper hand on the Garu. And the wild got out of control. Pentex being aligned, or the worm got out of control. Pentex being aligned, being an ally of the worm, means they're not only bad for businesses in every country that they're a part of, they are directly enemies of Gaia. Which is a big no-no for you, all of you.
Clover takes the picture that has this note on the back of it and says, very bad, wormy, worms. I don't like that. And then chucks the picture.
Wait, just
That would explain some things.
Now that word, all of you know.
Right.
So,
we're dealing with the fucking worm here.
When aren't we?
That's kind of the thing that we're always dealing with.
Hmm.
We deal with little worms, little earthworms most of the time. This is an Alaskan bullworm.
Okay, before I Google that, is that a real thing?
it's a SpongeBob reference.
It's a SpongeBob joke.
Okay.
It's so hard to keep a straight face through. All right, I'm back. It's big worm. Big,
You are getting more whispery and quiet the further the mic gets away.
big worm. Big, giant, large, bad worm. Worse worm than worm.
Well, I'm guessing that's why we're called here.
I mean, yeah, probably.
Pentex tries to get their hands in literally everything they possibly can, so I am absolutely not surprised if this is a subsidiary of theirs.
That explains why I so much of what I've. Anyways, all right. If Pentex is doing the worm's work. Endron. I mean, hell, even before this, if you told me that that Endron was owned by somebody, I probably would have guessed Pentex. It's a 50-50 shot.
At this point.
It's
If
more
not
like
better.
70-30 at this point.
Okay, you're not wrong. And
Clover will take the third photo and flip it over to see if there's any notes on it.
Spirals, underlined 3 times.
What was that word you said about the tentacle-born wolves?
Black Spiral Dancers, the one pack. that
they
you know
suck.
about.
I'll grab the fourth one because that's the one I'm curious about and look at it.
There are a lot of notes on this, and if you were to sit and count every different handwriting, you would every single member of the Elder Council wrote on the back of this picture. And there are guesses of everything. There is vampires ? Spirals ? Weapons ? Weapons ! Like
2 people agreed on the matter.
yes, like weapons.
Weapons.
What shape those weapons take is up for grabs.
I mean, it could be weapons, could be spirals because they're weapons.
I was about to say, the weapons can be spirals.
Could be vampires because they're weapons.
Not all
there
weapons
is-
are vampires, but all vampires are weapons.
that tracks.
Not wrong.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Callisto will pick up the blonde's picture and turn it around. Any info on this jackass?
I said.
All it says is leader with a question mark.
Real fucking helpful. All right.
And it's
Well, in fairness, that's what we're here for.
Yeah,
If they knew all this information, they wouldn't be relying on us. They'd be sending Spot Fido and Old Yeller to go do what they do.
Well, that's assuming the council would trust the wolves to do anything right, which I wouldn't trust them as far as I can throw them, which might be a bad example in my case.
I'm
about to say.
How far could you throw me? Can we try that?
Because you can fly, I would be willing to test that.
listen, the brother and sister wolves are dumb as a post, but if there's one thing you can rely on them to do is point them at the big red button, and nothing in the big red button vicinity of the big red button is standing afterwards.
Yeah,
So-
so quite good at scorched earth.
You're not wrong. They mean well, but it's
Do they?
yes,
On
no.
Earth?
There is
They-
one last piece of paper in the
Okay.
folder.
Clover does pick it up exactly like that.
Listed is the street address, which I will get to you at a different point, because I plan on doing a Google map where everybody can reference the map
Right.
and actually look these landmarks. But you are given the street address. You are given a potential name for the individual, which is Dmitry Karlov.
That's so fucking close to Ivan Drago. I was almost right.
Not really. That's
Same
Russian
section
name.
of the world. Same section
Yeah.
of the world.
Close enough.
Clover randomly whispers something in Russian.
no. Guru are Guru. They do mean well, but they're like 8-foot tall toddlers with fangs and teeth, and
And grudges.
I was going to say
that was encompassed in the toddler part.
it's almost like using a sledgehammer to build IKEA furniture.
Right? Yeah. Like
It gets it built real fucking fast.
Or it breaks it.
I
Have you
get.
tried to move IKEA furniture? It's very fragile.
You're not wrong.
I love their meatballs though. I have a Balaj. He's my son.
I've really got to hang out with you more.
I get what you're saying,
I'm
and
gonna take Clover to IKEA.
It would be that moment where you're like, oh, look, here are the lamps. Turn. Where's Clover?
I want to see. I just want to put like a GoPro on Clover in IKEA and just sit in an unmarked van and just watch.
It's like 10 minutes of frantically running around the store, and then 4 hours of her just being in the plushie pile.
Yes. That's exactly. Clover doesn't own a bed. It's just a pile of plushies.
That's amazing.
So what are the I'm not always here.
Right.
Sometimes I'm elsewhere. So what are we doing
Oftentimes.
to go there? Do we need to sneak in? Do we need to talk our way in? I'm very good at talking.
I can tell.
We need to do our own scouting first.
Reconnaissance.
Yes, reconnaissance. Yes.
Yes.
One word. It feels
I'm
good
not
in
saying
the
I don't. I'm not saying I don't trust what we have, but what we have is.
4 pictures.
I could have gotten most of this shit off of a Google search.
Yeah. What you guys have is fuck all.
Yeah, some of this might have been gotten from a Google search.
We have 4 pages of out of context images, and
Yeah.
so yes, absolutely. I think we should. I think we would be remiss if we did not do our own reconnaissance.
Well,
Yep.
while people are looking at the papers, Callisto like reaches up with her left hand to a cabinet that's near where she's sitting, clicks it open, reaches inside, pulls out like a small like lock of wood, passes it over to her right hand. Left hand reaches down to the less strapped in knife, pulls that out, and just starts whittling.
So first things come to. I'm new here. I don't know that. I don't know this location. I don't know what's in this area.
I'm just.
I don't know. I don't have an attack angle for recon of this place.
I'm fairly new to the area. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be permanent. I'm renting. So
There's a dispensary down the street.
that
Yeah.
does not surprise
I
me.
call that competition.
If I'm down,
You're
you're about an hour out of Sacramento right now, here in Greenwood.
okay.
That's
So,
of
yeah,
course without traffic.
Mm.
We'll have to figure out how to what vector to even approach to start the recon first. That's where we need to begin.
What if we rented a white van? Those seem to be around where it is. Blend in.
And
Might
do
be one of
what?
them.
Do what with the white van?
Go near it. Watch. See.
And that's one way. We could also, I mean, we know we have the address of where this place. Actually, I'm going to pull up on my phone. I'm going to pull up the address on the paper. Is it the address for this building?
Google
Or
Street
is it-
View.
Sorry,
I was just saying Google Street View.
Whatever you're saying is not coming on the mic.
it's not
Me?
coming
You're
through.
muted.
I'm muted. I was hardware muted. My bad, because I coughed. Yes, this is the street address that is listed. Pulls up this building.
Okay. We can a van. Or we can wait till one of those vans leave and we can steal it.
I'm going to ask another question. How good are all of y'all at stepping sideways?
Clover crab walks across the floor.
Metaphorically speaking.
Stepping across the gauntlet, hun.
Oh, very good.
Because I'm kind of curious. We've seen all physical portraits. I would like to know what the Umbra looks like around this building.
Absolutely, but we don't want to get too close to it by the same.
No.
Not on that side.
No,
Because it's not
definitely
gonna- It's not going to be good.
Definitely want to be a safe distance away.
It's going to be really fucking bad if this is a worm controlled area. They will have guardians on that side. They will. I don't personally have a huge amount of experience in the Umbra, but my dad told me a lot about it. And he had all the experience.
I don't have a lot of experience with it. I've heard a lot of stories, but I am pretty good at flying under the radar.
Where do you think I go when I say I go elsewhere?
On a trip.
Anywhere you like, hon. Anywhere you like.
They like me there. They like me a lot.
We like you too.
Where do you think I go? Bangladesh. Fuck if I know.
Another plane of existence.
I mean, that's the Umbra.
Besides the Umbra.
All right. Well, all in all, I think everything starts with figuring out this place. She says as she taps the picture of the building.
This place and this person.
Yeah.
I guess, is there any roll I can make on this leader dude's name? Because I just randomly know things, apparently.
You can roll me. Let's say intelligence and streetwise. Actually, anyone can. Difficulty is going to be 8 on this roll.
Sorry, what was the roll?
Int and streetwise to see if there's any possibility any of you might know anything about this individual whose name escaped me because as soon as I said it, someone talked in my head and I forgot it.
Dimitri something.
Dimitri.
That's
Karlov.
it. Okay.
Said 8?
Yes, difficulty 8, please.
I am not going to bother rolling.
2.
2. Of course, the
Hold
Korax
on
get
just a
it.
second.
I have 2 dots of int and no dots of streetwise. I do not have enough for dots of streetwise.
I have
Also 2.
Okay.
2 dots of int and 1 dot of streetwise.
Um,
You'll just have to find out how many dots Clover has. Things.
the thing that pops up to the three of you is you're all remembering now recently there was a big press conference about Dimitri becoming the CEO over Endron, which in the business world was a upset is not often used, but he stepped into the company when the previous CEO stepped down for reasons he did not wish to discuss with the greater public, which was said verbatim at the press conference.
Oh,
So he
this.
said he was stepping down.
For reasons that he did not wish to discuss with the greater public.
Okay.
And Dimitri Karlov took over.
No. I remember this dude. This was a scandal and everybody was talking about it because the previous CEO of Endron mysteriously just said, I'm stepping down for reasons I do not wish to disclose to the public.
Right.
And then this guy came in. Nobody knows who he is or where he came from. He just came out of nowhere and stepped up into the CEO position. And a lot of people were really fired up about it because there was a hierarchy that this guy just jumped to the top of all of a sudden. And there's radio silence from everybody. So of course that's got the rumor mill turning, which is my thing. And so that's all anybody can talk about is conspiracy theories. Who is this guy? He looks shady. You know, his hair's terrible. That last one was mine. It really is terrible. I swear to God. Like I could do so much better with that hair. But I digress.
You have nice hair.
Thank you. I like yours too. So
I vaguely remember that just because the news conference broke in on.
So, do we have any idea who this man was before he took this company? Did he literally come from nowhere, or is he one of those CEOs who hops from company to company and crashes them into the dirt for a quick?
No, nobody has heard of this dude. Nobody can get. There's like he's and storyteller. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like no trace. Like you do a Google search and there's only articles about him becoming the CEO.
The only other information is extremely rudimentary, like record, not even records, but mentions of him going to Yale, and there's a few mentions of him being at other companies, but no concrete proof has come forth of that.
Like these are all
Essentially, this-
articles that were published after.
Yes, yeah.
Nobody had heard of him until he became this the CEO, and then all of a sudden his name just started like popping up in random places. Yale School of Business, and this business CEO, and this business CEO, but no record on the company's website, no record in any trade publication, not even like a freaking LinkedIn.
That
Right.
to me sounds like a history created after the fact.
Yes, very much so.
It-
That's
Precisely.
nefarious new corporate overlord 101.
The victor writes the history.
Especially if you don't have a history before, because you are some sort of worm monstrosity, or, well, I'd say spiral, but I just already said worm monstrosity.
Anyone who wants to can give me an intelligence and enigmas roll.
Difficulty?
Difficulty,
Difficulty 7.
intelligence.
Enig.
It's a bad roll for me.
2.
1.
One success.
Okay,
Also
now
one.
I need somebody to say the sentence that was said before I asked for the roll.
Spiral. I insinuated that they were either some worm monstrosity or a
Yes.
spiral, which I would say, but I already said worm monstrosity, so that's redundant.
So that would be the only person who so all of you have decent enough knowledge to know of different things under the worm's employee that could potentially be something like this. Callisto, the thing that you're not sure where you remember hearing the word, but Fomori comes to mind.
Yeah, the possibility it's a Fomorian is not to be passed around.
Come again.
Something like a fusion of man and worm creature.
Oh,
From a meta standpoint, one of the worst books they've ever written. Anyway.
I would take the words one of off.
You know what? That's fair.
Only because they never made a player's guide to Nefandi, which is frankly the only comparison. The only thing that would be that's what Freak Legion is. It's basically the werewolf version of a player's guide to Nefandi. Like, no, those are not PCs.
No.
As much hate as I have for Dirty Secrets of the Black Hand and Clan Book Bali and even World of Darkness Roma
Gypsy.
racial slur.
Yeah.
None of those hold a candle to the book where you can use PowerPoints to figure out what your let's put it nicely and say torture extremities are like.
Yeah. The Fomori are not a fun thing.
The
But yes.
fucking morally repugnant book.
Yes.
So this is who Callisto remembers, are these things.
Yeah.
Yes. So the one success for everybody was, yeah, there are a number of things this could be.
Right.
Callisto just happened to get a word.
Right.
I mean, she knows exactly where she heard it. She
They're
heard one of
Bane
her
people.
ancestors. So like she looked at that picture and one of her ancestors whispered the word in her ear.
Yeah, probably.
So basically, they're like Bane people.
Kind of.
That sounds
They're
bad.
like spirit ridden, but by the
Yeah.
bad spirits.
They have to wear a funny mask and
Talking to a coffee cup.
sorry, bad joke is bad.
Like Linda Hamilton, The Exorcist, only grosser.
Oh, yeah.
Not Hamilton. Blair.
So these things,
There.
they're part human? No?
It's like what happens. You know how the creation of a fetish, the spirit is bound into an item.
Oh, not you're randomly scrolling Reddit and something pops
No,
up.
the item that is created by the pharaoh.
Ah, yes.
When a spirit is bound inside of an item.
Ah,
It's like that, but with a Bane spirit inside of a person.
hmm.
I just got an image of my head of some poor some poor third for the first time getting on the internet and discovering FetLife and thinking, oh, this is where I can find. This is like Amazon for spiritual systems, and that's how you create an anti-computer terrorist.
Somebody pulling a glass walker away from a computer. It's going to be fine. It's going to
Right.
be okay.
This is
I've learned faith.
I'm not talking about your specific kinks. I'm talking about magic things.
Right.
I mean,
It's like
we could make a list, but I don't think we have time.
imagine saying they're human isn't really super accurate as far as I know.
It'd be like
Not
holding
anymore.
a Tupperware,
Human-ish.
but it's full of soup. You'd refer to it as the soup Tupperware, not the Tupperware.
Pretty much, yes.
Do you have soup?
I
Knew
do, in
that was
fact, have
coming.
soup. Would you like soup?
Do you have Doritos too?
I do, in fact, have snacks.
I,
Those Doritos are going in that soup.
yes, they are.
I will leave you the bag. As Callisto
There are no
goes to
ifs,
make soup.
ands, or buts about that.
As that first edible you ate in the tent is starting to kick in.
Yep.
As Callisto goes to make soup.
All right. I'm still kind of in the mood to push the let's steal one of their vans.
well, I know you said you didn't want to go elsewhere around there, but maybe I could ask my friends to take a look.
A little spiritual help probably wouldn't hurt.
They
I'm
like me a lot.
I'm not opposed to that. I'm just there's going to be guardians on that in the penumbra, and we would need to be really we are more likely to be discovered, I would imagine, in the Umbra than on this side.
So, question: what else? Not spiritual wise or otherworldly wise, but what buildings wise? What else is around this building? Can we pull that up?
It's a good question. I mean, I've already pulled it up on
Well, are there any like
my phone.
restaurants, offices, cafes?
Clover pulls out her phone and just types in restaurants near me. And then she starts to write restaurants and forgets what she's doing, and then backspaces and then searches Reddit.
Love that. Um, Okay.
I can work with a salon. I can work with a hair salon. I can work with a nail salon. I can work with just about anything.
I will have to get an actual like address next time. So the things around the area, there's a Hyatt, like there's a hotel.
Okay.
Literally across the street from this place.
Okay.
There's a garage.
Okay.
There are two parking garages. There's a ramen bar. There's a few Chinese places. There's a rehab center. I will actually go ahead and we're going to.
While
Do
they're
this
looking
real
that
quick.
up, Callisto calls from the kitchen. Any preference for what kind of soup?
Party.
If anyone says that there's a ramen bar near there, she's gonna be ramen.
Yeah, there's plenty of cup ramen around here.
Don't put it in the microwave. It's very bad.
I'm gonna have so. Nothing.
Say like the water that was boiled for the tea is being used for the ramen.
Fair.
One day, she'll complete a thought and actually see it to fruition.
So I'm sorry, I'm clipping a section of the map so I can drop it into our Slack so everybody can see the area around. And that parking garage will be redone as Endron, and I will get an actual address to that.
So where it says
The X in
Metro
the US
garage.
Yes.
Oh, right there.
No, the X in the US Bank Tower parking.
okay.
US Bank Tower parking.
Oh,
The spot where there's an X on the map, yeah.
yeah, sure.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I love how she said there's a dispensary down the street, but it's really a rehab.
Oh, that's not the Department of Rehabilitation. That's not rehab.
I know. I'm just joking.
I mean, it's good. Like Clover might,
Hey, Julia very easily confused it, so I can see why Clover would.
No, absolutely, no, 100%. It is an easy thing to.
Clover knows a lot of things. She also doesn't get them right sometimes.
Now, see, if I was going to have a vantage point, or if I was going to get more, say, the Hyatt is right there, but that's a little too close. I'm going to go down the street to the Mexican restaurant.
Margaritas.
As they're discussing this, a bowl of ramen and a bag of Doritos are plunked down next to Clover with a spoon in case she wants it.
Clover pops open the Doritos bag and takes a handful and just crushes them into the ramen.
Yeah, it tracks.
And just stirs it up. And then takes out her gummy bears and drops a few of those in there.
Oh, you're a mess, but we love you.
And then some of those fruit snacks from the beginning. And just stirs it up. And then pulls out a pair of chopsticks from her purse and starts eating it.
Of course she does. But I'm thinking instead of the bar of a 5-star hotel, you go to the bar of a Mexican restaurant and it's going to be a lot less unfiltered. That's my.
I mean, I was gonna say that a parking garage usually goes 5 or 6 stories up, and you can just be on the top floor and have, no roof over your head, unfiltered vision.
Is it a high rise, the Endron building?
Yes.
Okay, like what kind of like floor count are we looking at?
30.
30?
Right.
Okay.
We're unlikely to get a building that's taller than it without attracting suspicion. But
I mean,
top of a garage building seems like a pretty good.
I mean, that's a good vantage point, and we can definitely set up shop there. But I'm talking as far as street level, what people are saying, what people are hearing, what people are talking about.
Yeah, we could gather information from the locals.
Because especially after because what do people go to Mexican restaurants for? They go for chips and dip and alcohol after a long day of work and to bitch about work. So somebody on the street has heard something, or somebody works in that building, or someone has worked in that building. Someone has.
Is there a timestamp on the first picture with not the first picture, the picture with the white van and the sign going up, like
picture
telling
2.
us? Yeah, picture 2.
Yes. It's 11:34 a.m.
Does it have a date?
2 weeks ago.
So this kind of appears that this building and signage is very new.
Yeah.
Hey,
Long enough for rumors.
Mm-hmm.
hey, Callisto,
Yep,
you're from around here.
sort of.
You probably got a better chance of knowing than any of us. What's your what is the how is Sacramento's drainage systems?
Do I know what the Sacramento sewers are like?
Off the top of your head, no, not really.
I live out in Greenwood. I'm not super familiar with the Sacramento sewers.
That's a fair point. I figure it's worth a shot.
Would I know Sacramento sewers?
Is Clover's from out of town, correct?
She's from out of town, but she's been around.
She's lived everywhere. Go ahead and give me intelligence and streetwise. Shawnee, for fairness sake, you can also roll this as well. Both of you will. Okay, fair enough. Wanted to have the offer there for you.
I would have 1 die.
It's difficulty.
Oh wait, no, that's a knowledge. No, it's not knowledge. It is a talent. I would have 1 die.
It's going to be difficulty 8 for this.
Oh wait, no, talents is no penalty if you're rolling
Yes.
flat. I would have 2
Yeah.
dice.
Knowledge is you just can't make.
2 successes.
I can try.
Yeah, you can
I
always
believe
try.
in you, giant woman.
Intelligence and streetwise.
Remember, you can spend a willpower for an automatic success.
Can you do that on knowledge stuff?
On
Oh, no,
recollection?
never mind. Never mind. You're right.
Say, not,
You're
not
right.
on recollection, right?
No,
No.
no, that is a botch.
Very no.
So the sewers here, the
Sewers
only
smell
thing,
bad. My sense of
Yeah.
smell does not tolerate the sewers.
The only thing that you know about the sewers in Sacramento is that it is a combination of the general sewer smell plus, for some weird reason, for your snout, just the most acidic,
Copious amounts of
astringent
ammonia.
scent over top of that. Yes.
Yep. All I know is I can't shift near the smell of an open sewer.
Fun fact: the only birds that have a sense of smell, this is Siobhan, are vultures. Anyways,
That tracks.
Mhm.
So what exactly are we wanting to know about the sewer system? Just as a
we were asked, what do we know about the sewers? And I
Correct.
guess just kind of what I know. I probably wouldn't know like access points, but like what I would know about, like, I guess.
Just general sort of, yeah. The whole point is like the intent, it was not expressed, but the intent is like, is
is it easily traversable? Is
it easily traversable? Is it New York City style like sewer systems? Is it more like Portland Underground, where there's sort of an underground, area? Is it just not even really functionally traversable, which in our case still might be traversable because we can get smaller.
I can't. I am as small as I get.
Some of us can get smaller.
I'm already wee.
it is traversable.
Okay.
They also Clover information that you would know is that Sacramento has a combined sewer system which integrates both stormwater and sanitary sewage water into a single network of sewer drains. It's generally like the standard modern sewer setups.
I'm trying to figure out how to transfer that or translate that into Clover.
That's fair.
It's
Great
a-
information. How do I make it loony?
It's a sewer, where it's got the water and the gross water. It's all together,
Right.
mixed up in one big melting pot. There are pipes.
How very American of its spirit.
Of course. There are pipes. Do I have an idea how large the pipes would be if it's a mixed system?
Yes, solely because I have seen. I'm pulling up an image from this Sacramento City Express. There are people not only standing in it, but appears wide enough for almost for vehicles, at least from the entrances. So
They're very large. We could get her in there very easily. We could even get the bitchmobile. Maybe, I don't know. Well, is she semi-aquatic?
The roof might be a little low
No.
for a vehicle, especially a big one. But
Mhm.
yeah, there's a lot of space there.
I'm sure we are. I'm sure we're providing information that you are just loving to hear, Callisto. But
So
yeah, I want to get down all up in that shit.
So, while I'm not discounting that fact, I will let you know that when the smell of ammonia is particularly powerful, I have a very hard time shifting.
I mean, how am I going to put this politely? No, I'm not. I'm not sure that in my hopes to do underground sneaking and finding a way into the bottom of the worm pit that you're going to be the sneakiest person.
I wasn't referring to sneaky. I was referring to if anything goes south, the muscle you see is the muscle you get.
Right. My point being that that might not be the best use of you. But I do think we should attack this from multiple angles. The recon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but 2 of us can fly.
It's true.
Have noticed.
Because, Callisto has the flaw banned transformation in the presence of powerful smells of ammonia. Because ammonia is a bear repellent.
Uh-huh.
So with that hanging in the air, our camera shifts back to a very similar scene to our opening. A sterile white room with 4 tables, 4 large boxes atop of them. A man in a slate gray suit with blonde hair and blue eyes is talking to 3 gentlemen in lab coats. And as he gives the order and gives a nod to the first box, a drill is brought out to undo the fastenings. And as the first lid is removed, a clawed hand reaches over the side, bending in the metal. And there is a taser shot into the box as a yelp of a wounded dog cries out. And that is where we will end for the evening. Say goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.